question, or we just want to check the
I think this is 8.
8?
There's already 8. Well, sort of.
협력을 이끌어내는 것은 모든 국가나 도시에서 쉽지 않은 일입니다. OTCNS가 국제 간 협력을 이끌어내는데 최상의 플랫폼이라고 생각하십니까? 아니면 어떤 다른 노력이 필요하신가요?
First, you're right, it's a difficult problem, and it's an important one, because I believe too that the cooperation between the sectors is important in moving things forward. So you need to have, you want to see innovation, and you want to see the small corporations, companies moving ahead and advancing and innovating new technology. And often that innovation will have to come from universities, so from the academic sector, and there's usually an expectation that there's financial support that's needed because it's early stages, and that's usually government. So it's important that each knows their role. You can bring the academic and the industrial partners to the table if government will support with some of the funding. OTC&S here, what we do is we make an effort to work with government and make sure they understand, because the government will want to spend money. They need to see that it will generate more jobs, that it will generate more sustainable work. If they see that, then they're willing to help fund it, because they need to see more tax revenue joined. So our job, and we see it, is making sure that each of these three sectors understand their role, understand the value to them. So when we deliver on this, so we managed to get, we show, working with the Department of Labor and Advanced Education here, that this is very important for the sector in getting growth and getting jobs, that they can do more with their money if they put it into this sector in the areas of supporting this innovation and cooperation between academic and industry.
Supporting innovation and growth in Canada's ocean sector, 즉 우리말로는 혁신을 어떻게 지원할 것인가라는 주제로 이해됩니다. 이 주제가 굉장히 마음에 들었습니다. 그리고 혁신과 지원에 대해 다시 생각하는 계기가 됐고요. 과연 핼리팩스 OTCNS의 해양산업의 혁신을 성과를 간단하게 좀 설명한다면 어떨까요?
The growth has been very good, very strong. It's partly because the ocean sector worldwide is growing, and it's a global economy. We have to be part of that. But also, we've seen strides and improvements here. Now we're running into the difficulty of having an adequate labor force. So we're more competing for resources. So the next stage in forwarding it again is to make sure that there's students and youth and things coming into our sector to further support growth.
부산이 핼리팩스의 해양산업 시스템 그리고 OTCNS의 역할을 벤치마킹을 많이 하고 있습니다. 실제로 부산에 있는 연구자들이 핼리팩스를 여러 차례 방문한 것으로 알고 있고요. 그런 차원에서 부산의 해양산업 클러스터 운영에 있어서 혹시 조언을 해줄 수 있다면?
I think it's important for you have big companies like Hyundai Heavy Industries, who massive world's biggest shipyard, and those things in the area. You've got ADB, Chennai, the local area, and but then you've also got smaller companies like Solar Tech. So it's important. I understand kiosk is part of your organization as well, but it's important that you look to the smaller companies as well as the big ones. that you get the big ones to help the small ones. That you facilitate that, and you facilitate the interaction with the government and university bodies as well. Ideally, you get, here we have the government has provided some grants where industry receives the work from the grant, but the money goes to the university. So they do work for the company. The company decides what they want researched. The outcome is given to the company, but the money goes to the university. So it's sort of forcing that interaction and collaboration.
부산에서 이 코보 같은 시설을 운영하려고 할 때 가장 주의해야 될 것, 즉 조언을 말씀해 주신다면은 어떤 조언이 좀 있을까요? 그쪽 보고 이야기하는 거죠.
Sure.
Could you see his view?
Yeah, oh yeah. A fantastic view, and also nice sunny day here at Hill. And I've mentioned I visited Busan myself. It was years ago. I think it's time to return. Just so amazed by the concentration of activity, of very enviable activities in terms of what's happening in the ports, how busy the maritime industries are. And my one piece of advice would be have your ears open, your eyes open, pay attention to what's going on. And then also there are, so the companies that are naturally in Busan growing, there may be an area where there is an overlap of their strengths. Well, how is it that the center could be specifically enabling those strengths, deepening them, and showing them to grow? So, although offering broad supports, probably also valuable to think about some technology specifications or something that's a little bit narrower, having a deep impact in a narrow area where you're already seeing a level of critical mass or a level of activity in percent, and in companies that may be attracted to design firms.
Halifax Partnership. The Halifax Partnership is Halifax's economic development organization. We are a public-private partnership. We've been in existence for over 25 years, and we primarily do business on behalf of the city. So from an economic development lens, they're our largest single partner. We also work with the other orders of government, including our provincial government and our federal government as well. We're funded annually by over 100 private sector companies.
Is one of the main field, and any other field?
In technology, we have life sciences. We also have transportation, logistics, and financials. We have a financial district here in Halifax with all the major Canadian banks here as well. And lastly, our digital, IT, and media. So these are five leading sectors in Halifax, but of course, multiple other sectors are growing here as well.
There's a lot of diversity in Halifax. I believe last count I heard there were 90 some different languages spoken in Halifax. Wow. And I think a big driver of that is, our innovation that's happening here. But a lot of our we're very immigrant friendly. We know we have to welcome people in from around the world if we want to continue to grow. So, some of our larger immigrant populations have come recently from the Middle East, from India, Pakistan. Here in our office, we have someone from Bhutan, we have someone from Sri Lanka, we have somebody from India, we have Nigeria. We have a very diversified team, and we're extremely proud of it. So from a cost perspective, so Halifax tends to be a little bit more cost effective than some of the other larger centers in Canada like Toronto and Vancouver. And yeah, you can still, afford some real estate here. It's below the national average, although it's quickly going up because our population is quickly growing. However, it's a beautiful place to live. You can be in this boardroom, and in 20 minutes you can be on a beautiful beach somewhere. That's a great advantage. Yeah, or hiking, or camping, or sailing, or surfing.
We have a wine country, the valley. They're a big selling point in the summer. If you like wineries, it's lots of nature.
You'll have to come back.
Ah, we should.